spiritual search is of something the searcher, the seeker, has no clue what it is. He has to find out for himself, so he only has himself to trust. And the conclusion he draws from everything he knows and learns. The first danger is the great confusion. It is very confusing to learn something from someone or a book and to pretend that it is true. This great truth of this reality being empty is the natural state, yet it is not perceived by the seeker as the natural state. The seeker is still restricted to a very narrow point of view from which he perceives this reality, and when he perceives reality through the only thing he can, himself, the character, and yet he tries to believe that what he sees is not true because someone on YouTube said so or some old book said so. So there is a great clash between what he perceives and knows is true and what he wants to believe is true. So the seeker wants to believe that everything is true, and it is, yet he cannot grasp it. So he forces himself, and this is a great danger, to force yourself to believe this truth. And why is it dangerous? Because to force yourself into something you don't believe in, just by willing it or wanting it to be true, causes you to justify everything in a warped kind of way. It can distort the natural process of looking at this reality and acting inside it. The seeker understands this truth in a philosophical way, as an idea, as a concept, and tries to implement it in some way that is real, and it clashes with his own good sense of what he sees, of what he perceives. So I can say this is not matter. This is not matter, this is part of me, and I know that, and this is empty. And yet you cannot see it, you cannot feel it. Believing me is nice, you can believe me, but it can create a great confusion inside your soul and your psychological structure. And it can lead to many questions that you answer for yourself or through answers that you get from the scriptures, and you rationalize it the best way you can, and you build some kind of mechanism of structure that tells you, okay, I live like that, I believe that, and then there are many questions, and it will be an endless process of questions, which is not a bad thing in itself, because it is healthy to doubt things and think about things and try to realize what is the truth. But when it becomes something that disrupts your life or your self-perception, I call it a good sense, like it's something natural that is you now, that is the character now, because this is what she sees. So it can create some kind of division inside the brain of the place that is built out of the truth and the place that is still seeking. And the danger is that the conclusions you draw and the answers you give yourself in this process may be the wrong answers and lead you to great confusion about who you are. And in a paradoxical way, it takes you away from the direct experience, which is the character, which is this reality. Because this reality, as the character, is the great emptiness, is the great essence, is the meaning. And when we try to sort it and philosophize about it, we can get lost inside terms and ideas and metaphors and stories, and everything becomes a great big mush. I don't know how to say this word, like something that it's not something that you can understand. It is only like a pile of misconceptions and answers that you give yourself, and like a card building, it's made out of cards because it's not real. The answers that you get from yourself are not real. You cannot know, you cannot give the right answer. Who am I? When you do this inquiry, who am I? It is a wonderful thing to ask this question. And what I am trying to warn you about is this place where you get lost inside this wonderful question. This is the first thing I want to warn, the first danger. Don't get lost inside this question. Don't lose grip of what is real for you right now, because this is the only thing that happens, this perception, and you have to stay on the ground and understand that as long as you don't experience yourself as this oneness, as this emptiness, it's okay. And it's more logical to believe that this is matter and you are a character, and it's okay. Don't make this wonderful inquiry something that will take you away from yourself as a person and shift your perception of reality, because it is important to stay inside this reality. This reality is the only thing that is. It is this emptiness. And when you do that sorting out thing and searching, and you lose connection with it and get lost inside the idea, you can lose yourself, and not in a good way, because losing the self is the final goal, to lose who we are, what we are, to know that we were never this character. But you can't force yourself to do that through questioning your character. You can only confuse yourself more and more with questions you cannot answer because you don't know. So this is the first danger, getting lost inside this philosophical question of who am I, and alienate yourself from yourself and getting caught in a psychological, distorted perception of reality that it is caused by yourself, by this mental chatter of understanding who you are, and you cannot answer this question. So I suggest do this inquiry. It's a wonderful inquiry, but take it as a game, as the game that it is, because eventually all of this is a game. So try not to take this question so seriously. Just look at it, play with it, enjoy it. But don't let it influence you so much that you lose grip on reality. Stay focused, stay on the ground, stay where you are, know who you are until you don't know who you are. And when you won't know who you are, you will lose yourself and become this oneness. You will know, you will know. you will have no more questions until that happens. And it's very clear when it happens. Stay who you are, where you are. It's okay. This is what happens. This is the process. The second danger I want to point to is the resistance of the reality in the name of the idea. Because some people think that if we are nothing and emptiness and this idea, so we don't have to bother with this boring real life, with all the people in our lives and the situations that are so mundane and so boring, and they don't equivalent to the spiritual search. They are not as important as the spiritual search. They are just these things we have to do every day in order for us to find time for the spiritual search. There is a great division between the spiritual search and this reality that surrounds us. So sometimes we resist reality and avoid getting inside it and being involved because it doesn't look like something very spiritual. So in the name of this idea, some people reject their reality and the people in their lives or the things they have to do because they are not so important. And this is a great mistake because this reality is this oneness, is the higher meaning, is what you are looking for, and you reject it in the name of the idea. And you feel good about yourself. Sometimes people feel good about themselves when they give their time to the spiritual search, and it builds an enormous ego of someone who is so superior and in the process of doing something amazing, and the other things are not so important. And it is more important for a seeker to help his wife to make dinner and to do the dishes far more than sitting on a meditation or contemplating about who he is. So the danger is becoming someone self-involved, egoic seeker that doesn't understand that the true meaning of everything lies within this reality, lies within the movement inside it, and of course acting inside it in a way that helps others, seeing others, helping others. This is the greater meaning of the search, and this is the second danger. Becoming that seeker, that person that cares more for the spiritual search than his own reality. And in the name of this search, avoids action, avoids certain things that can help others in the name of this high goal. And it's a big, big mistake, and it's a great danger because it makes the person feel good about himself, feel like he's moving forward, when in fact he's moving way, way to the back, and in danger of becoming some kind of, I don't know, not nice word for a person who's full of himself and think he's superior, and you know those persons. You don't want to be one of them. You don't want to lose your warm, compassionate personality in the name of this search. So don't. Second advice is stay in full acceptance of your reality. Be involved in your reality. This is what you are looking for, not the spiritual search, not this quest. This is your quest, your reality. The third danger is who is helping you in this quest. And sometimes people And seekers find teachers, and this is something you have to pay close attention to, because spiritual teachers, unless they are in the full know of what is happening, unless they are this state, they will not want your highest good. They are still in their egoic own character, and they will do things for their own benefit. And in the name of this trust, this wonderful trust that can be between a master and a disciple, in the name of this trust, they give their trust, seekers give themselves to people who are not worth their trust, and to people who can hurt them, and it is very dangerous. Pay close attention to your teacher. Who is he or she? How do they treat you? What do they want from you? Basically, they don't need anything. A real teacher will never want anything from you. So it is a great thing to trust someone, but you cannot afford to trust anyone, because a teacher who is just learned himself or knows about these things and he looks very developed, he is still as blind as you are. He is still as blind as you are. And it's the classic blind is leading the blind. In the best version, he just leads you to the wrong place and you don't reach your higher goal. And there are many worse scenarios in which this teacher takes advantage of your honest will to develop. So you have to pay close attention. Who do you trust in this process? And of course, sorting out this thing yourself is the best way, without a teacher, unless you find someone in your surroundings who is worth your trust and you know that. Unless this is the case, don't do that. Don't give yourself to someone who is not fully awakened, enlightened, self-realized, because only a person like that will really see only you and your way. He can also tell you how to develop in your way. Other teachers can't. They are still trapped in their own characters. So you can enjoy them, but have no expectations that they can lead you to a place that they are not there themselves. So these are three of the dangers that are in this wonderful search. One is getting lost inside the idea, who am I? Until you lose grip on reality. Second is resisting your reality and avoiding acting in it, and resisting the whole thing and the process. And third is trusting the wrong person. These are great dangers that can take you away from yourself and change your reality. You can act in ways that will hurt you, both you and the ones you love. And I implore you not to do that in the name of this search, in the name of this oneness, in the name of this all nothingness. Don't do that. Don't hurt your reality in the name of the search. This search needs to be about acting in full compassion towards the world, simple acceptance of everything as it is, including you, including these questions of who you are. Don't take it so seriously. Don't think so much about yourself. Don't think you are very important because you do that spiritual search, or you are above others who don't. Just look at this life as it is, this wonderful life. Accept what is happening around you. Be humble in your search. It will help you avoid danger.
Nothing good, nothing bad, nothing ventured, nothing gained, nothing stillborn or lost, nothing further than proof, nothing wilder than you, nothing older than time, nothing sweeter than wine.